Hi, I'm Josh.
And I'm Travis.
And in this video, we're going to show you how to use the Ghost MV1 with concentrates.
Before using the MV1 for the first time, we recommend that you watch the introduction video on how the MV1 works.
The MV1 has 5 herb settings and 1 concentrate setting. The concentrate setting is represented by 3 red LED lights. Remember to never use dry herbs on the concentrate setting and to never use concentrates on any of the 5 herb settings.
The profiles and draw sequences are very different when using concentrates, and it's really important that you follow the instructions we provide so you get the best experience possible. We also recommend that you use a fully charged battery with concentrates.
To select the concentrate setting, which is indicated by 3 red LEDs, press the mode button and hold it down to indicate the battery charge level. Then immediately push the mode button down and hold it until the temperature level indicates appear. Simply scroll through the settings until you reach 3 red LEDs.
Once you've selected setting Red 3 for concentrates, you're ready to place the device into vape mode. You do this simply by clicking the button 3 times in quick succession like this. You will see a single green LED displayed in the center.
The MV1 will stay in vape mode for a couple of minutes on its own, or you can take it out of vape mode at any time by simply clicking the mode button again 3 times.
Preparing the MV1 and the crucible for use with concentrates is really easy, and the first thing you need to do is to remove the concentrate pad from the accessories kit in your MV1 box. You will find a spare crucible in there as well.
The concentrate pad is made from high-grade stainless steel mesh. It's very durable and can be soaked in isopropyl alcohol for cleaning.
You can always buy additional spare concentrate pads and crucibles from the website.
A helpful hint about the concentrate pad is that it fits quite tightly in the crucible and can be occasionally stuck in place at the base of the crucible after use. If it doesn't drop out with a gentle tap, you can remove it easily by poking a slim sewing needle up through the base.
Check that the stem is raised to the required height before loading the device. We recommend anywhere between ½ an inch to fully extended, depending on how you breathe.
Once you've set the temperature level to 3 red for concentrates and the stem is at the desired height, it's time to load the crucible.
We're going to demonstrate this sequence using CBD crumble. CBD is legal in most countries, but please check first if you're allowed to use it where you live.
The MV1 is sold for use with legal substances only, so it's important that you fully comply with laws in the area that you live in.
You only need a very small amount of concentrate with the MV1, so make sure you don't use too much to avoid making a mess. Using an appropriate tool, place a small amount of concentrate onto the center of the concentrate pad. Then place the lid on top with the 4 lugs correctly positioned, and keeping it level, place the crucible into the oven door. Check to see that the device is on the concentrate setting, level Red 3, and that the stem is at the desired height.
When using concentrates, always keep the device upright, at least for the first draw. This will help keep the concentrate in the middle of the pad for best results. Triple click the mode button to place the device into vape or standby mode. Remember, the MV1 is an on-demand vape and will only heat up when the vape or draw button is pressed down.
The most important difference between using the MV1 with concentrates instead of dry herb is that you start to draw immediately after pressing the vape button.
When you press the vape button, remember to keep it pressed down until you have finished the entire draw cycle. If you release the button at any stage, you'll be disengaging the heater and the device won't work as intended.
Remember, when using the MV1 with concentrates, you need to start the draw immediately after pressing the vape button. The first slow draw liquefies your material, and the second and subsequent draws vaporizes it. When using concentrates, try and keep the device level for the first draw. This is to help ensure that the extract stays on the middle of the pad and doesn't roll off to the side, which can happen easily by tilting the angle of the device.
Here's another helpful hint for concentrates. If you're using sticky material, you can press it directly onto the pad to hold it into place, and it won't matter if you tilt the device.
Start by taking the first long, slow draw. Remember to only draw very slowly on the first draw cycle and continue until the device vibrates.
You probably won't produce any vapor on this first draw, and that's because you're just melting or liquefying the material into the pad on the first draw.
Now, take your second draw immediately after the first one.
You can see how I produce vapor on the second draw.
You can carry on taking more draws until there's no more vapor. Depending on the material that you're using, you may occasionally need to take a few draws until you produce vapor, but you will normally produce vapor on the second draw.
You don't have to take full 10-second pulls after the first draw, and you can stop sooner if you want.
The MV1 produces incredible results with concentrates, and depending on the type of material and the small amount that you use, you should get 6 to 12 full 10-second draws.
You'll notice that the device gets quite hot around the crucible door and the heat sink at the top, especially when you're using it with concentrates. Don't worry if it's getting hot there because the heat sink is just doing its job. It's called a heat sink for a reason. It's there to ensure that you only get cool, tasty vapor without any harshness.
If you can't finish all of the material in one concentrate session, it doesn't matter with the MV1 because it's only using on-demand convection heating. The unused material won't degrade, so you can just pick up where you left off later on.
If you're going back to use an unfinished bowl of concentrate, remember that you'll need to start it off with the first long, slow draw again to liquefy the extract. This is because the concentrate will have solidified back to its original form.
The MV1 is really versatile and is designed to be customizable to fit any user. You can really experiment with it a lot to get the best results for you. Try adjusting the way you breathe. Everyone is different. And play around with the stem height as well. Remember to always keep the draw button held down for the entire cycle. And don't release it midway or click it on and off once you've pressed it down.
Now let's have a look at what the crucible looks like after using the device with concentrates.
The crucible and lid cool down very quickly on their own. But if you've just finished a session, open the crucible door and try blowing on the lid for a few seconds before removing the crucible.
You can also take a couple of long, cold draws before opening the door without pressing the draw button and engaging the heater. If you take a draw or two without pressing the button, you're pulling cold air through the device, and this will cool down the crucible and crucible lid really quickly.
You can see that all the material has been vaporized and the crucible and the pad look unused. That's because we use the right amount. If you put too much in, you might end up with a sticky mess. So make sure to use the correct amount of concentrates.
We hope you enjoyed this video on how to use the MV1 with concentrates.
Please take the time to watch the full introductory video on how to use the MV1 and the other short videos on how to clean the MV1, how to use the app, and how to use the MV1 with dry herbs.
If you take the time to watch these carefully, you'll see how simple the device is to use, and it will really help you get the best performance out of it as well.
Thanks for watching.